upcoming forestry students. I'm Rose, aka Rose of the Woods.
And I'm Caitlin. I'll be known as Polyporia today.
On today's episode of Non-Woody Forest Products, we're going to be talking about
edible mushrooms, which this is not edible, just so you guys know.
This one is edible.
Hello, and today on the Non-Forest Timber Product episode of edible mushrooms, me being Polyporia, we are going to talk about some of the key identification features. So when you've gone out and you forage, we now have our little forage basket, and we found some oyster mushrooms, which are fairly commonly grown on some hardwood trees or decaying hardwood trees. You want to look at the different parts of the mushroom. Here we have a portobello mushroom, not found in the forest, but it's still an edible mushroom. And the parts that we're going to talk about are the cap. And on this cap, you can see some of the scales of the cap. And as you flip it over, you have parts of the outer veil right here, and right here as well. And then you can also see the hymenium layer of this mushroom, which is gills porous. If you split it in half, some stems are actually hollow on some of the mushrooms, and it is a great ID feature when telling different kinds of mushrooms that could look very similar. Hey, welcome back, guys. Right now, we're going to talk about some tips and tricks of do's and don'ts. So, the one thing you want to keep in mind when you're collecting is to always keep it to small portions. Because the first time having a mushroom, you might not necessarily be allergic to it, but it might not react with your body the best. So wait 24 hours or 48 hours in between trying different types of mushrooms and keeping it to small doses on the first time. The second thing you want to do is always make sure that you cook the mushrooms for the first time. You don't really want to eat any wild mushrooms if you've never tried them before without cooking them. And the third thing to keep in mind is always having a clear identification on it, because there are lots of poisonous mushrooms out there, and you never want to eat something that might make you sick.
Or kill you.
Rose of the Woods here. I'm going to talk to you about some edible mushrooms in North America, what they look like, where you can find them. Having a mushroom guidebook can be very useful in identifying mushrooms and their features. Important features include location. These Russula mushrooms are grown in white pine, hardwood, and sphagnum moss. These ones are edible. Other similar looking mushrooms, which are not edible, are grown in fields and conifer forests. Another important feature is the spore color. Wood bluets and sweetbread have pink spore patterns. Similar mushrooms have white spore patterns. Next, mushroom anatomy. Shaggy mane has a black margin, and its gills are not attached to the stem, right here. Being familiar with the different parts of anatomy of your mushroom is very important in identifying if it's edible or not. Shaggy mane is a delicious mushroom. Another important ID feature is the time of year that you harvest something. Another example is the oyster mushroom over here. This has a stem, while its counter-poisonous mushroom is the angel wing. It has no stem. Jack-o'-lantern over here is also a very poisonous mushroom. It won't kill you, but it will give you a lot of upset stomach issues. It is orange and has true gills on it. However, very similar looking to it is a delicious chanterelle. It does not have true gills. The black trumpet shows us a feature which is quite interesting, is the taste and the smell. It smells and tastes of apricots. When you're trying out mushrooms, you always want to taste a little bit and then spit it out before you know if it's poisonous or not. The Boletus edulis is a good example of bruising. Mushrooms will stain when you push on their stem and on their caps, and will stain different colors, and that can be an important identification feature. Some will stain green and yellow, others will stain purple, blue, or black. And lastly, North America's most popular edible forested mushroom is the chicken of the woods. They have small holes called pores instead of gills. They are yellow, thick, and really juicy. Make sure you pick them when they are young, and don't forget to cook them. Tastes like chicken.
Hey guys!
Thanks for joining us as we learn about fungi.
I'm a fungi.